Inside a beloved local tavern called the Witch Duck Inn. Police race to the scene in the early morning hours.
All of our victims were shot in the head, execution style, and the cash registers were empty. I spent 16 years in homicide, and by far, this was the worst crime scene I'd ever seen.
Locals are shocked. And the following morning, people gather outside the tavern looking for answers. Among the onlookers is 29-year-old Denise Holsinger, a former employee. She is distraught like everyone else, but maybe a little too distraught. Denise Holsinger is born in 1964, and her family eventually settles in Phoenix, Arizona. But her happy home life is shattered when her father walks out on the family.
For most little girls, the first man in their life is their dad. And to have him get up and walk out and leave her, had to leave her with a very poor sense of herself, a lack of worthiness.
When her mother remarries, it only gets worse for Denise. Her stepfather molests her when she's just 8 years old.
She had questions about it, and the stepfather always said, "Don't worry, this is what dads and daughters do." And she bought it.
The abuse continues for 5 years. By the time she turns 13, Denise has had enough. She runs away from home and begins a life on the streets. In no time, she's doing drugs, drinking, and hanging out with older boys, and eventually, older men. Denise will do anything for a warm bed.
She would meet men and go home with men and almost trade sex as a currency.
Keenly aware of the power she has over men, Denise begins exotic dancing. But it's a dangerous way to live. Men often take advantage of Denise.
Sometimes she would just want to have some company, and men sometimes were not as understanding of that, and she was forced into sex.
She begins gaining weight, perhaps as a sort of defense mechanism.
Denise was changing her body image in a way to protect herself from unwanted attractions that might lead to sexual assault and further victimization.
But Denise finally finds some stability at age 19 when she meets a trustworthy Navy man named Mark. They marry in 1984 and have 3 children. But by 1989, Denise is overweight, overwhelmed, and feeling trapped in her marriage.
Can't even look after yourself.
She did not feel that she was very valued, didn't feel she had a voice, didn't feel that she had a role other than to be his wife, to be the mother of the kids.
Denise relies on an old remedy for the pain.
Denise finds a friend in the form of drugs and alcohol, something to bring her temporary escape from her worries and fears.
And her marriage falls apart.
There's a lot of knockdown, drag out, screaming matches in the Holsinger household.
Denise is desperate to break free, but the place she's headed is not on anyone's map.